Aloha. Hope life is treating you well and you're making the most of the best you that you can be, right? Being present is the most important thing that our new show, The Ascension Experts, has to offer. Join Andrew, Aloha, myself, and I, and other co-hosts and guests as we wander through the miraculous journey of life, or ascension, and what it takes to live the lifestyle of an enlightened being. Did you ever wonder what it takes to live, breathe, be a master, a saint, or simply an ascended citizen? People would be surprised just how easy it is. Really. Just be you. How hard is that? Aloha. Good evening. This is Andrew Aloha live out of Flagstaff, Arizona with Spiritual Production on Anchor, YouTube, Spotify, podcast, or I can't remember them all. What the hell? That's just the way it is, right? What can I say? So anyhow, let's see, does this thing have a counter? I gotta have a counter on it. Guess not, but anyhow. So anyhow, welcome to the Ascended Experts, Ascension Experts. What am I calling this show anyhow? Aren't I calling it the Ascension Experts? Duh. Now, for those of you that are interested, you can hear this show on Spotify, on Radio Public, on podcasts, on Google Podcasts as well, Breaker, and Apple Podcasts as well, or iTunes. You can Google this on iTunes and you can find it there as well. So either way, whatever floats your boat, and of course Anchor, which is where I'm airing this from. Not only Anchor, but also on Zoom and YouTube. So the Ascension Experts. Now, just to give you a heads up. Here, let me shut this down. Okay. Just to give you an overview, if you read my book, if you read our book, the 90-day Ascension Journey, engineering, design your life the way you want it to be, you can go to my website, spiritualimageproductions.com, spiritualimageproductions.com. On the left-hand side, and right now my sinuses are acting up, so if I sound nasally, that's probably why, but that's besides the point. But anyhow, if you go to my website, spiritualimageproductions.com, on the left-hand side, there's a link that says the 90-day Ascension Journey. If you click on that link, that will get you to the PDF version of my book, free, just for the asking, just for the taking. You can grab it and read it, and you can figure out what you want to do with it afterwards. So that's up to you. So anyhow, in there it explains, it gives you a lot of the information that I'm already going to cover anyhow for the next several weeks. I determined that I'm just going to cover just the foundation of being an ascended person or an enlightened person, and then the practices, and then the rest that goes along with it, the magic, the juicy stuff, right? And even today, I mean, I kid you not, even today, I had a woman tell me she wanted me to do more of my magic so that she can get some of her other stuff done. I did some magic with her. I believe it was last week, and lo and behold, boom, it just happened, right? The magic just happened. She's seen it before her eyes. I don't think she could believe it, to tell you the truth. But you know, I've been working with this magic for years now, and it's not 100% proof. You know, I'm not that high on the totem pole, but I know the basics, and I know some of the tools and the foundation and what it takes to do the magic. And you know, really, if you think about it, love, that's really the basic ingredient that you really do need for making magic happen. Unconditional love. No cords, no ties, no what do you want to call it? No conditions, just plain unconditional love. You know, it goes a long way. People don't really realize it or think it, or even understand it sometimes, or a lot of times. I don't know, maybe probably a lot of times. But just good old fashioned unconditional love goes a long, long way. I was just thinking about that today. You know, sometimes people they're on their faces in the mud. They're on the ground. They're at the bottom of the totem pole, and you know, and they can only go up at this point, right? Go up or go out the door, right? Commit suicide, get killed, or make things happen, and just get the ball going. So I was just thinking, you know, sometimes just acknowledging people, just saying hi, giving them a smile, and just greeting them, you know, and not because you have to, not because you know you feel sorry for them, just because you're sending out your unconditional love to them, just acknowledging them. Acknowledgement, and I was just saying this can go a long way. Just a little bit of acknowledgement. Sometimes that's all people want or they need. You know, they never got acknowledged by their parents or family or friends, whatever, and they just want some attention. And it's not even attention. It's just just a feeling of belonging. You know what I'm saying? And so it's just like that. So anyhow, for the next several weeks, I'm going to be covering the foundation, the practices and they're all covered in my book. You can go read them for yourself. And there's a resource guide at the end. You can go look up the answers, look up the answers for yourself. You don't have to take my word for any of this, not even for a second. You know, it took me hours upon hours upon hours upon hours upon hours, and get the message about hours to find all this information, look it up, understand it, research it for myself, and imbibe it and ingrain it and live it and breathe it for myself, right? So it took a long time for me to really sift through a lot of this material and really work with it. Excuse me, and understand for myself all these practices, all this foundation for being an ascended person, an enlightened person. And after a while, it just came through. Everything just came through. I started to understand the magic started happening, and pretty soon, you know, I wasn't questioning whether something was true or not, or was real or not. I was feeling it and living it and breathing it. I didn't have to question it anymore. And yeah, there's still things that I question, of course, because I'm still learning and growing, breathing, being, right? So it's like that. And so anyhow, um, I've decided to go ahead and just cover these materials step by step in their very basic foundation. That way, there's no misunderstanding, right? And if there is a misunderstanding or confusion, just call me, write me, email me, text me, whatever. Telepath me, right? It's like that. Just get a hold of me via telepathy. Why not? So if you're that good, go for it. I may catch it, I may not, but if I don't blame Destinex. That's what I say, right? So anyhow, I'm dedicating one show, 30-minute segment per se, for every practice, for every foundation. And I was, and it was funny because I was thinking about starting with the practices, and then today it hit me like a rock. No, no, no. We're going to start with the foundation. Okay. Again, if you go to the Alice Bailey works, it's in my resource guide. You can do your homework if you want. You can just follow along, whatever. But if you go to my book, in the back, there's a resource guide, and there's the Alice Bailey works. Now, the Alice Bailey works can be ordered through Theosophical Society. Most bookstores you can order just about any or all of the books if you want. And there's a number of books from the Alice Bailey works. Esoteric Psychology at 1 and 2, Esoteric Healing, Esoteric Astrology, from Humanity from Service to Humanity. I don't remember all the books, but there's a whole list of them, and so to choose from and read, and they're like reading the Bible or reading the Quran or reading a really esoteric book full of wisdom. I mean, it's just like that. These are all esoteric books full of wisdom, and if you're not ready for them, you're probably just gonna get bored and say, okay, fine, and then go play and do something else, and that's okay. You're ready for them when you're ready for them. And even the over logical person, again, probably will get bored and go work on their engineering design or whatever, right? But when you're ready, you'll just inhale these books. You'll just read them, and you can't stop. You can't put them down. It's just like that. So anyhow, I've read several of the books. I can't say that I've read all of them. Esoteric Psychology 1, Esoteric Healing, Esoteric Astrology, Serving from Humanity, Service. I can't remember all the books, but anyhow, a lot of the information that I got to give to you right now, to impart to you from these books, it comes from that. Not only that, but some of the information comes from Joshua David Stone's spiritual encyclopedia. I can't remember. He's got a whole encyclopedia set of spiritual books. Some of them seem redundant. They're okay, but if you've never read any of his books, the first one will probably grab you, and then you'll go, wow, and then you'll read the second one, and it becomes a little bit more redundant, and then more redundant. But if you keep reading, you'll grab pieces of nuggets in between. So you just gotta get past the redundancy, and you'll grab nuggets in between. So anyhow, one of the meditations that we'll be going over will be Ascension Seeks meditation, and we'll talk about that later. I'll explain that, and then we're going to go over prayer for these are the practices. Now the foundation for all this has to do with initiations. When you get to the first level of ascension, you go through several other initiations prior to. You become a neo. First of all, there's like the animal kingdom who have no, or I'm not saying they don't have any consciousness, but they share a consciousness, an oversoul with each other. The animal kingdom does, and they let's see, I gotta make sure. So let's see, that's 10. Okay, so anyhow, they share an oversoul because they can't think for themselves for the most part. They can emote a lot of times for themselves maybe, but they really can't think for themselves because they don't share, they don't have their own individualized soul. So they evolve, they develop just as we have over the years, over a lifetime after lifetime, over hundreds of lifetimes. They'll evolve as we have, and then they'll starting to become conscious. They'll start to feel and emote and have feelings. And some of these animals do already to some extent or another, but they still won't think for themselves until they get their own soul. And then they start to get, and then they get their own soul. It does happen eventually as we have gotten our own soul. And we'll start to think for ourselves. And then at some point we'll become what you call neophytes. We'll start to have understanding, some level of understanding and start thinking for ourselves. And then we'll start to learn how to take care of our bodies, and then we'll start to take care of our emotions, or start to balance our emotions and feelings, and then we'll start to think, like literally think for ourselves. That's why it's important to go to college. So for the first three initiations, you demonstrate that you have control over your body, that you can take care of your body. You'll start to do stuff for the Olympics. You'll be on the running team. You'll play football. You'll skate. You'll do all kinds of physical stuff that will demonstrate to the universe that you know how to take care of your body, right? It's like that. And you'll start to eat right. You'll start to learn how to be healthier. You'll do exercising, and that's how you know where a lot of people are. If a lot of people that are in the physical fitness world, they're working on first initiation. They're working to demonstrate that they can take care of the body. and it doesn't necessarily happen all in the same way. And first you do the physical initiation, and then you do the emotional initiation, and then you do the mental initiation. No, it could vary from lifetime. At some point you might be working on your mental initiation, working towards that. And even though you still have a long ways to go on your physical initiation or emotional initiation or both, you'll work at different levels and different times and in different ways. Not everybody, even twins, quadruplets, or whatever, they may look exactly the same, but they're not. Their soul levels, their soul development may be at different levels. Their emotional initiations may be at different levels, and so on, right? So you demonstrate, for the physical initiation, you're demonstrating you know how to take care of your body. You're eating right. You're exercising, and so forth and so forth. And then the next initiation is the emotional regard, emotional initiation. A lot of actors, a lot of people that are working with emotions and feelings, maybe even psychologists, psychotherapists, I don't know, it varies, work on balancing their emotions and feelings. A lot of people that get cancer, they get diabetes, they have all kinds, there's all kinds of diseases, heart attacks. Any of those diseases are demonstration that let me see, 20, 30. So I think, okay. So there are demonstrations that that you know how to take that your emotions and feelings are out of whack. Well, people are constantly stabbing you in the back and conspiring against you, so you have a heart attack. So it's like that. So anyhow, you go through an emotional initiation. Now, at every one of these initiations, there's usually at least two beings that are there supporting you and watching over you through the initiation process. Probably so that they can make sure that you're where you're supposed to be and that you can deal with that initiation. And if not, then you probably have to take it over again. I don't know. You might have to take it over again anyhow in the next lifetime, just because, just to confirm and reaffirm that you're where you're supposed to be. So then you start going to college, you start going to school, you start thinking for yourself, start thinking, from from out of the box, and you start to demonstrate that you can handle dealing with the mental initiation, the third initiation. And that's why a lot of people, their best bet is to go to college so that they can work with that element that part of themselves, developmental part of themselves. So then at some point you go through this transfiguration process. You sift and assess and you go through all kinds of what's the word I want to say? You go through all kinds of activities that allow you to focus and think in the way that an enlightened being would want you to think, or would allow you to think, or that the universe would expect. And that's not even the right word, but expect that you would think, right? You go through this transfiguration process, and then you become transformed, and then you become enlightened. Now, I don't know who all the people were that were with me when I did my first and second initiation. The third initiation may have been Maitreya Buddha. I don't know. Maybe Jesus. I don't know. And then so further down the road, the fifth initiation was Sai Baba. He invited me to visit him in India, and I was there for almost 2 months. And the only reason that I even mention this, not to brag, not to demonstrate that I'm any better than anybody else, because everybody's where they're supposed to be no matter what, and everybody's the same in the sense of speaking. But to give you understanding, help you with understanding the process in terms of how it works and how it thinks, so that you'll know for yourself where you'll be and what you're supposed to be doing. So anyhow, I went to India for almost 2 months, and I didn't understand it at first, and I think even afterwards I didn't understand until later on, maybe a year or two later on, that I had actually gone through my fifth initiation, and he did some stuff that was very magical. When I was there, first of all, he was on his throne, on his chair, and we were singing bhajans, we were singing songs, and he moved his finger kind of like this, and from his chair, and all of a sudden there was like a laser beam that went into my chest, the middle of my chest, and it seemed like he was burning cancer out of my chest. That's what it seemed like to me. So, and literally the next day, I had to put lotion on that little spot where that laser went in, and I also had to put some on my back because it was like a bullet. It went in, pierced my chest, and then it blew out the back of my back about that big, So I had to put lotion. Somebody have lotion on my back because it was burning like a sunburn, right? Felt like a sunburn, and literally the skin was heat. So anyhow, that's what my fifth initiation looked like for me. And of course, they won't be the same for everyone, and the same people won't be there for the same initiation for everyone. So it will all be different, but that gives you a glimpse in terms of what to expect when you get there, right? So it's like that. And usually an initiation it has to do with being what do I want to say? Usually an initiation is some kind of crisis that takes place, and you demonstrate that you can handle that crisis and resolve it and work through it and process it through and move forward. And if so, as long as you can do that in a successful way per se, and be victorious about it, and I don't even know that that's the correct term, but for me it is. I feel like it is. But anyhow, as long as you can overcome that crisis, then you move on to your next initiation or your next situation or your next crisis until you get to an initiation. And usually, right after the initiation, there's a big honeymoon period for a few days, a day or so, or a week or so, a month. You go through this like a vacation type of thing. You celebrate and you party, whatever you feel. I can't say that just because you're an initiate or if you do the first, second, third, or fourth initiations, you're considered what you call an initiate, and then afterwards you're considered a master. And then if you do three miracles in public that the public acknowledges, then you become a saint. You establish as a saint. But anyhow, even if you become a full-fledged ascended person, it doesn't mean you're going to be worshipped and everybody's going to be put you on this pedestal and all of a sudden you're going to have this big huge following. It's not like that. You could be a private ascended person, or you can be a public ascended person. Either way, you'll know when you get there, and you'll know what to do, and you'll be able to you'll still have stuff to do, service to do, whether it be with the animal kingdom, plant kingdom, mineral kingdom, the angel kingdom, the planet kingdom, the solar system. And there's all kinds of kingdoms out there that you can do service with. And at some point, I believe you will consciously actually choose what that service will be when you get there. Yeah, and you'll decide, well, and usually I believe it's when you're taking third or fourth initiation, maybe even the fifth, you'll decide, well, okay, I want to be a service to this kingdom, and blah blah blah, and then you go from there. So, anyhow, it looks like I'm out of time. We'll pick up next time, and we'll go from there and continue forward with this. Have a God-Goddess weekend. Be the love that you are, always have been, and always will be. Aloha. This next song is called Radha Ramana by Daniel Paul from his album Elephant Prayers.
Krishna Govinda. Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari, Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari, Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari, Shri Krishna Govinda, Radha Ramana Hare Bol. Jaya 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 Radha Ramana Hare Bol, Hare Bol. Jaya Radha Ramana 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 Hare Bol, Hare Bol. Jaya Radha Ramana Hare Bol. Shri Krishna Govinda, Hare Murari, Shri Krishna Govinda.